Hi there, this is Stacy with Plaid Elephant Workouts. I know that many of us today have lots of stress, and sometimes we need a relaxing exercise with some movement that will help us, especially if we're having stress that is affecting our hormones as well as our monthly cycle. So grab a soft pillow and a soft surface on your floor, either with your mat or your mat even over a carpeted surface would be lovely as well. If you have a candle or some essential oils that you like to use that relax you, feel free to add them in. But we're going to start on the floor, and the pillow is actually going to go underneath our lower back. So find a nice comfortable positioning, and I'm going to have a seat on my pillow and then just slide backwards so we have a slight lift in the pelvic area, and spend a few minutes or seconds just to feel your body being very heavy on the floor. I like to scan the body and think about that my head is on the floor. It's heavy, it's relaxed. Start to remove some of the tension that we feel as much as we can. I know we can't remove all of it, but scan down maybe to your neck and shoulders. We're not moving anything, but just thinking about the tension in them and mindfully kind of letting it just erase just even 1%. Go to your arms and just mentally think about how heavy they are on the floor. From the top of your arms to your elbows, your forearms, and even your fingers. Nice and light, yet firmly planted on the floor. And then to your hips and your abdomen. Take your hands and place them right on top of your abdomen, right on the lower part. Maybe start to try to slow your breathing down. Maybe you're breathing a little bit quicker because of stress or tension. And then bring your hands right to your pelvis area, your bones. Think about from your right side over to your left, being nice and relaxed on top of that pillow, nice and flat. And then scan through your hips. We still have our feet on the floor, but with the knees up. But maybe just mentally tell your legs to relax a little more. Up to your knees, down to your calves, and your ankles and your heels. Wiggle your toes, and then let your whole foot be flat on the floor. Slowly scan back up your body and think about how you're starting to feel a little bit less tense and stressed. Bring your hands down by your sides, and you're going to have your palms down on the floor. Arms are heavy. Press your hands into the floor just slightly to provide some stability as we start to move the legs. Right leg lifts up above the hip. And then very slowly tap your right foot down and back up. Even slower than the next one. We take it down, tap back up. A little slower. And and back up. Down and back up. Think about your breathing as you lower the leg down. Inhale on the way up. Exhale down. And exhale down. And one more time. Bring your leg down to the floor, nice and slow. And without letting your foot leave the floor, let your leg drop slightly out to the right side. Hold right here for another 5 seconds. Bring your knee back in. Repress your hands into the floor, making sure they're providing you some stability. And let your left leg lift. Remember the slowness that you were able to achieve on the right side, and try it on your left. A little slower on the next one. Just gracefully tapping the foot down to the floor. The heel does not even need to come down. A little bit slower. And then add in your breathing. Inhale on the way up. Exhale down. Feel your shoulders getting heavier into the floor with your breathing. Exhale down. And last one. Without letting your foot leave the floor, let your left knee drift out towards the left. And then let your right leg drift off to the side without your feet leaving the floor. Place your hands on top of your lower abdomen again. Your elbows are resting on the floor. And allow your breathing to feel normal. Bring your knees back into center and place your hands back on the floor. Bring your knees back up and lock your heels together. Open the knees slightly and then press your feet outward about 3 or 4 inches and then back in and back out and in. Starting to actively press your heels in towards each other as you feel the lower back sinking further into the pillow. On the next one, let your feet slowly come down to the floor, leaving the knees open. Once your feet feel safe on the floor, slide your right leg out down to the end and then slide it back, having the bottoms of the feet meeting each other. Slide your left leg out and back up. and your right leg, and back up. The knees are staying open. The feet are meeting together as the leg rises up. Your hands are not pressed heavily into the floor here. They're just resting, and the upper body is not doing anything. One more to the left. Slide back up. Bring your feet back down to the floor and separate them, coming to hip width apart. Wiggle your toes. Press your heels into the floor and press your palms into the floor. Slowly rotate the pelvis up towards you and then lift 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Place your palms into the floor and your heels. Push the floor away, lifting your pelvis and your hips slightly off the pillow, and lower down. With as much slowness as the rest of our movements today, keep lifting the pelvis up and down. Let's add in breathing for the last 3, a little bit more intentional. Breathe in on the way down. Breathe out, pushing upward. Breathe in. Breathe out, pressing up. Last one. One at a time. Bring your left leg up and your right. The hips are still up on the pillow. Place your hands on top of your knees, either pulling the knees in closer, or if it doesn't feel comfortable, let your hands just rest on top of your knees. Allow your right leg to drop, drifting all the way down, and your left. Bring your right arm out to your right with the palm facing up, and your left to do the same. Let your feet drift off to the sides. Again, feeling your body get heavy into the floor. Become more aware of your breathing pattern. It should feel less stress, less tense than when we started. Bring your right hand back down, and then your left. Slide your left leg up and your right. Lift your hips and remove the pillow. Coming all the way down to the floor. Bring your legs together and let them drop over towards one side. Your hands are down by your sides. And then drift them off to the other side, keeping the legs together. And back to the other side. And back to the other side. Breathe in and out. Notice I'm not bringing my knees all the way down to the floor. Rather, I'm just shifting my legs side to side. Bring the legs back to center. Hold right here. And then reach for your pillow. Bring it up underneath your head. So at this point, you can continue to rest. Press pause, so no videos start after, no advertisements, nothing to disturb you as you enjoy another minute of quiet. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this lets you feel a little less stress and tension.